Why study history? Evidently, a lot of people now think you study it to make excuses for why you, in particular, are where you are today. Everything's against you because of the way you were treated in the past. Or you're where you are today because your ancestors were fantastic and built a great this or that or whatever. It seems that the human race, from the time we started writing down what we were doing, has been in love with one, either demonizing others, or two, in making themselves better by demonizing others, or we're just so great we can overcome everybody. All of that is built into sometimes overcoming difficulties or whatever, but really, if you go back and you, like Thucydides, when he wrote, well, probably, I guess he's considered the first historian because he wrote what was going on in Greece and so forth at the time. But when you record in the past, and historians are prejudiced, they are. I mean, they're a product of their particular time and place and civilization and so forth. And looking at the past is like looking through a telescope from the opposite end. So you have a very small perspective, and sometimes they'll take bones or a shard or this or that, and they'll make these large conclusions based on that little bit of information, and that's human. But I started off these things with the idea of discussing our story, and that primarily means, to me, because I'm in that way, Western civilization, and why we're where we are today. And we have done phenomenal things, and we have done some bad things, and you learn from that. And right now, we have people who are trying to maintain that because of what was done in the past, they are not anywhere today. And on an individual basis, that's true, but let's get one thing straight. You're where you are today. This is an old cliche, but you're where you are today because of what you did yesterday. Yes, people don't like you. People don't like me. When I was a young man, a teenager, I was moved to a place where I was the only one from my part of the country, the American South. And a lot of people, because of the way I talk, made a lot of suppositions about me because they had seen a movie or read something from where they were from or whatever. But that was not me, and you cannot let other people define you. You are the only person that can define you. And you cannot let other people's expectations of you or what you think their expectations are, because you can only, as I said, you can only define you. In my business career, I spent a fair amount of time in New York and Boston and Chicago and LA and so forth and so on. And it was the same thing because of what comes out of my mouth. Many people, my IQ went down 10, 12 points because of that. But you just can't let that bother you. You just have to go on and define who you are and do what you do and do the best that you can. When you let other people define you, and I'm kind of bouncing around here, then that's your problem, because you can't let that happen. Yes, there are going to be people that look down on you, try to hold you down, whatever, you know, because of their attitudes and their shortcomings and you just can't let that happen. You, your faith, no matter, I'm a Christian, try to be, working on it, allows you, one, a great deal of leeway in forgiveness, but you have to take that forgiveness and utilize it and build on your errors. And again, that's a good reason to study history, is what did we do wrong in the past? What can we do now to build on that to make things better? And you can do that. You can't use that to punish people, though. And what someone's great grandfather did cannot be used to punish that person today. That's just not doable. There's an old saying is, you couldn't hold Abraham Lincoln responsible for his father's sins. And I don't know much about his father, but evidently he wasn't a great guy. I really don't know. But you just can't. Also, by the same token, if someone's father or grandfather was a saint, you can't expect that person to be them. That they can only be who they are. And you can only try to be the best human being that you can be. And this whole thing, and we have this running around right now, it's all, when I was young, there was rampant, real, live racism. We largely overcame that, and now we're kind of reverting to it, but in the opposite way. So it seems like, back to the beginning of this, human beings need someone to demonize, someone to look down on. The Jews have been used for that for a long time, and for thousands of years. And if you look back on it, they're still here. And everybody who demonized them has not fared too well. So you need to think about that. And if you live to hate, that's a bad way to live. I mean, it's going to mess you up in ways you haven't even thought of. And if you study history, you'll see that people who hate on a regular basis don't usually end up in a good place. But anyway, this is just a rant for today, but trying to go back to good reasons to study history, good reason to think. Always think. And don't bumper sticker think. And you have a good day, and see you later.